Ever wonder if your lack of wealth boils down to your mindset? Sounds crazy, right? But hear me out. I've been dead broke, drowning in debt, paycheck to paycheck. Yet, I unshakably believed I'd hit the jackpot. How? By rewiring my brain. That's the key, and it's what I'm sharing with you. Your next financial breakthrough, the one that changes everything, hinges on this. It's not the empty bank account holding you back, it's the mental roadblocks, limiting beliefs, ingrained fears, inherited baggage. I learned this the hard way. Early on, I was clueless, broke, and drowning in debt. You know that gut-wrenching feeling when you check your bank balance. Yeah, I knew it intimately. But worse than the red numbers was the quiet belief that I was a failure. How many times have you doubted yourself on the verge of a big win? Told yourself, this isn't for me, I'll never make it, or, that works for others, but not me. I get it. Those voices echoed in my head too. The thing is, most people think financial transformation starts with money, but true wealth begins with a mindset shift. It's like trying to get a clear TV signal without adjusting the antenna. No matter how hard you wish, without the right frequency, the picture's a mess. I remember my first cleaning job, $15 a month. Peanuts, but it was the launchpad. I didn't see wealth in my finances, but I started seeing it in my mind. That changed everything. I went from owing more than I earned to managing contracts across 6 cities, including London. If I, with no education, family support, or seed money, could do it, why can't you? Here's a bombshell. Stanford research shows over 80% of financial decisions are emotional, not rational. Fear, insecurity, scarcity, they hijack your behavior. Unless you reprogram your mind, you'll spend your life running on someone else's operating system, downloaded from childhood, school, media, culture. It's unfair, but it's real. Your next financial leap isn't about the opportunities that come your way, it's about being mentally prepared to grab them. How many amazing chances have you sabotaged out of fear? Turned down a proposal because you felt inadequate? Let me tell you about one time I was invited to speak to corporate executives. I was making progress, but that inner voice whispered, "You don't belong." I almost bailed. Almost said no out of fear of being exposed as a fraud. But I remembered what I'd written on my card: I am a wealthy, powerful, and influential man helping millions worldwide. And I decided to act like it. The talk was a hit, not because it was perfect, but because my mindset was aligned. You don't need to wait for permission to start changing. Now is the time. Your mind shapes your reality. Your next big move depends on how you see yourself today. It's not about the job or salary, it's about the daily narrative you feed your mind. Do you see yourself as ordinary or extraordinary? Believe this, a mindset shift transforms everything. How you wake up, communicate, tackle challenges. You shift from survival mode to creation mode. That's where the magic happens. I'm not promising magic bullets, just reminding you that you already have everything you need, just use it right. If this resonates, if it feels like it's speaking to you, it's because it is. Deep down, you know you were born for something bigger. Remember that, and start now. When you hear imagination, what comes to mind? Childish daydreams? Fantasy? Let me tell you something profound. Your imagination is your most potent tool for life transformation. It's more real than anything you touch because everything you touch was first imagined. The phone you're watching this on, the car you drive, the house you live in, it all started in someone's mind. Most people misuse this power. Instead of visualizing success, they rehearse failure. Instead of envisioning solutions, they play out disasters. Have you noticed this? How many negative mental movies have you created, where money's tight, bills pile up, opportunities vanish? And more importantly, how many of those worries came true? Why? Because your brain doesn't distinguish between reality and vivid imagination. Neuroscience proves it. A study in the Journal of Neurophysiology showed simply visualizing a muscle movement activates the same brain areas as the actual movement. This means that by imagining a new life, you train your brain to recognize and create that reality. But most people use this power for self-sabotage, imagining layoffs, money problems, inadequacy, failure. And the brain, like a dutiful servant, responds, okay, let's make that happen. You can flip the script, use your imagination to your advantage. The first thing I did was write down everything I wanted on a card. I read it daily, closed my eyes, and lived it internally. I remember one night, exhausted, cleaning offices in Toronto, scrubbing floors on my knees. But in my mind, I was on stage, speaking to thousands. I felt the lights, heard the applause, saw the faces. It felt surreal at the time, but I kept imagining it. Soon, that internal image became my external reality. What do you imagine daily? Prosperity or survival? Confidence or anxiety? Ask yourself, if a stranger had access to your deepest thoughts, would they say you're headed for success or stagnation? Steve Jobs said everything around us was created by people no smarter than us. The difference? They used imagination as a tool, not a prison. That's what you need to start doing today. You might say, but I'm a realist. I say, realists inhabit a world dreamers created. Those who dare to imagine shape the future. Walt Disney was fired from a newspaper for lack of imagination. He could have accepted that. Instead, he built a billion-dollar empire from a cartoon mouse. What if he'd believed the limited version of reality others offered? Here's a practical exercise. Every morning, before your phone or emails, close your eyes for 2 minutes and vividly imagine the life you want. Feel it, see it, hear it, touch it, react to it. Do this daily, even if it feels like fantasy. Because to the universe, what's intensely lived in the mind begins to manifest physically. Don't wait for validation. Others don't need to understand or believe. When they told me it was impossible, I kept imagining. And here I am. What was once crazy became my biography. Now it's your turn. Use your imagination to build, expand, transform. You will never achieve a reality you can't visualize. If you can't visualize it yet, start there. Without it, nothing changes. With it, everything changes. Decision is the starting point of all great transformations. I'm not talking about wishes or dreams, but decisions ending the doubt and firmly stating, this is what I will do, no matter what. Most people never make a true decision in their lives. They hesitate, wait for the perfect moment, and it never comes. Because the perfect moment arises after the decision, not before. When John F. Kennedy asked Wernher von Braun what it would take to put a man on the moon, the answer was simple, the will to do it. Notice, not the technology, not the budget, but the will, the decision. That's powerful because it shows everything starts in the mind, including financial freedom. What's holding you back? Stagnant salary? Unfulfilling job? An unfinished project? The cause may seem external, but the root is internal, lack of decision. And the decision I'm talking about isn't just mental, it's emotional, energetic. It's when you fully, completely say, from now on, I accept nothing less than what I was born for. I remember a time I was doing well, and an opportunity arose, expanding my business internationally. It was risky. Many said, Bob, be careful. Slow down. You already have something good, why risk it? For a moment, those voices resonated. But then I remembered what a mentor taught me, doubt is a thief that steals dreams before they are born. So I decided. I didn't ask permission, wait for guarantees. I just said, yes. And that, yes, changed the course of my story. Think of how many opportunities you've missed because you didn't decide. How many times did you say, I'll think about it, when you should have said, I'll do it? Worse, you probably don't even remember those opportunities. They vanished silently, killed by indecision before they even took root. An uncomfortable truth, your current life is a direct result of the decisions, or lack thereof, you've made. And before you say, but I had no choice, remember, not deciding is a decision, and it almost always takes you to the place you fear most. Research from Columbia University shows adults make an average of 70 conscious decisions a day, over 25,000 a year. Most are automatic, but some have the power to change everything. They're the ones that push you out of your comfort zone, give you goosebumps, make you doubt, but also make you grow. And if you think you're not ready, know this, nobody ever is. When I started my first seminars, I trembled. My voice cracked, my hands sweated. But I decided nothing would stop me. That decision kept me grounded, even in shaky moments. You need to decide to break free from routine, stop waiting for a savior, act courageously, even when afraid. Because courage isn't the absence of fear, it's acting despite it. When you truly decide, something powerful happens, life responds. Opportunities arise, people appear, paths open. Because you've set yourself in motion. The decision comes first. Clarity, method, the path, they follow. Steve Jobs was right, you can't connect the dots looking forward, only backward. Stop waiting to understand everything. You don't need to know the how, you need to know the what, and decide. If this resonates, I propose something, not a wish, not a vague idea, but a decision. Take a piece of paper and write, from today, I decide to live the life I desire. I decide to prosper. I decide to trust myself. Write it now. And read it every day until that truth is etched into every cell of your being. Because ultimately, decisions define us, not the past, resume, or circumstances. Only the decision. And when you make yours, with conviction, the entire universe will move to support you. I'm living proof, and you can be too. One of the biggest discoveries of my life is that you don't attract what you want, you attract who you are. This completely changes how you approach your goals. Because money, opportunities, connections, it all reflects your inner state. If you want different results, you need to act like you already have them. I'm not talking about faking it, but congruency. Every time you desire something but act contrary to it, you send a mixed signal. The universe doesn't respond to confused desires, it responds to consistent patterns. If you want to live like someone prosperous, successful, fulfilled, you need to behave like that before it happens. I remember a woman in a seminar. She wanted to start her own business, but said, "I'll only act like an entrepreneur when I have the money." I said, "You'll only have the money when you start acting like an entrepreneur." She was silent. That's what holds many back, waiting. People wait to lose weight to feel confident, get a promotion to feel important, have money to feel free. But it's the opposite. It's by feeling confident, important, and free that the scenario starts to change. Not by magic, but because your actions reflect that new identity. Acting like the person you want to become doesn't mean buying things you can't afford or pretending a life you don't have. I'm talking about posture, mindset, discipline. How do you behave when you wake up? Lazily or purposefully? How do you speak to others? Insecurely or confidently? How do you handle challenges? As a victim or a leader? These are daily decisions that shape your energetic field. And yes, I mean energy. Everything in the universe is energy in motion. You emit that energy with every thought, word, and action. And what you emit, returns. Research from UC Berkeley showed people who assume power poses, even for 2 minutes, experience real physiological changes, increased testosterone, reduced cortisol, greater self-confidence. The body responds to behavior, and the world responds to the body. I learned this by living it. There was a time I needed to travel for speaking engagements, but couldn't afford the same hotels as the other speakers. You know what I did? I went anyway. Arrived early, observed how they behaved, spoke, dressed, positioned themselves. And I did the same. Not to imitate, but to train my mind and body to align with that new standard. It was only a matter of time before my reality started reflecting that. How would you act if your account was overflowing? If your schedule was packed? If you were living your dream life? Would you wait for Monday to start? Waste time on distractions? Hesitate to take a stand? Of course not. So why are you still doing it? Your next financial level already exists. It's not hidden or far away, just in a different vibrational pattern than what you're currently emitting. And you access that pattern when you start acting like someone who's already there. It's like changing the radio station. The music is already playing, you just need to tune in. The challenge, for the next 7 days, wake up and act like the most powerful version of yourself. Dress with intention, speak with confidence, walk with purpose, make decisions like someone who's already won, even if you still have doubts inside. That's how transformation begins, from the outside in, and from the inside out, until there's no difference between who you pretend to be and who you've become. One day, looking back, you'll realize everything changed when you finally understood this. When you stopped waiting for life to happen and started acting like its creator. That's exactly what I did, and that's exactly what you can do. Start now. Because when you change on the inside, the world has no choice but to change too. The reality you desire already exists, and you just need to align with it through how you think, feel, and act from now on. Nothing external will change until you change internally. Once you understand this, truly embody it, there's no turning back. You set yourself on a path of limitless growth, expansion, abundance. If this resonated, the next step awaits you. The video now appearing on your screen is the next rung on this ladder. In it, you'll level up your wisdom and become at least 1% better than you are now. That 1% might be all that separates who you are from who you were born to be. Thank you for joining me, and I'll see you in the next video.